Hi there, it's me again. I've got another wonderful, accessible place that you guys need to know about. It is the Museum of the City of New York. Museum of City of New York. It is on Fifth Avenue. It is between 104th and 103rd. Fifth Avenue, as you know, is right there at Central Park. So while you're in the museum eating, you look out over Central Park, which is wonderful. It's a great location. First and foremost, one of the best things is the bus stop is literally right in front of the museum, so that makes it very easy to get to. You also need to know that they have a special accessible entrance on 104th. I don't want you getting off the bus, you see the steps and you're like, she sends me here. No, there are steps in the front, but if you go on the side on 104th, there is a lovely accessible entrance. This museum is great. I think it's 6 floors if I remember right. It's a good size. It's not too big, not too small. It's just right. You can probably get it done in about 2.5 hours is my personal thought. The whole reason why I went is because I had heard about this Gingerbread NYC exhibit, which is actually highlighting all 5 boroughs of New York. So it's very cool. If you know me, you know I love sweets. So I was like, gingerbread, New York, this is perfect. And bakeries, yeah, I'll go check it out. So I went and it is wonderful. It's had such a great, interest that they have now extended it to January 16th. I wish to goodness I would have known about it earlier because I would have, you guys could have gone earlier in the season, but here we are. Now we know for next year. Maybe they'll do it again next year. You need to go see this exhibit because it is all like in one room, which makes it great, especially for people with disabilities and those with developmental disabilities. It's like several tables in one room, and you can vote on which gingerbread display is your favorite. Now, I do have to say, this is not very much talked about in the museum. I kind of knew, so I looked for they have a scavenger hunt sheet, which I got it downstairs. Right when you go in, you're going to see a staircase, and then like across from that staircase, there's like a little guest booth. No one was at the booth, but the sheet caught my eye. So make sure you go get the sheet because it kind of brings the exhibit to life, and it's fun to do the little scavenger hunt and find, the boat, find the room with 2 lights, things like that. And so it makes it really fun for kids. The other thing is if you are 19 and under, you get to get into the museum completely free, with or without a disability. 19 and under, you are free. How good is that? Another way you get in for free is they have a neighborhood program. So you just have to get on their website and figure out which zip codes are right around the museum, and those people get in free at any time. Otherwise, it's about, I think, $20 to get in, which is totally worth every penny, in my opinion. Anyway, so go see the gingerbread exhibit. Get on their mailing list because, this is what I was talking about earlier in the month. They had free trolley rides, movies for minis, and they also have, which I have a feeling it'll probably extend till January 16th as well. They are inviting all teachers to take field trips pre-K through 2, which personally, if I know these people that I talk to at the museum, I have a strong suspicion that they will let a class that has people with disabilities in it go, even though they're older than pre-K through 2. So email them, schoolprograms@mcny.org to learn more, but they do a little scavenger hunt, they do a story time, they even have hands-on art making, so I think it would be really fun trip maybe to take next week. Why not? Anyway, and they are really, I have to say, like, this gingerbread exhibit is very much for the kids, and I love that they are really trying to, because the rest of the museum honestly is not really conducive to young children, which is totally fine. I just want you to know that. But it seems like they are really trying to make it more accessible for the entire family, for young kids as well. So you need to know that. The other thing is, what else? I told you, make sure you get on the mailing list. That way you can find out what events they're having. The other thing is, it's very well laid out, the entire museum. There's wonderful accessible elevators. There's wonderful accessible bathrooms. And I will say, I just learned this from my mother, who uses a walker, and it's something I really hadn't thought about. I was telling her about how the Whitney had that wonderful button that you press to get into the bathroom, and she was like, Kristen, that's like the worst part of the whole thing, is just trying to get into the bathroom. She lives down in Texas, that you can't get into the bathroom. You've got your walker, you've got your wheelchair, and you can't even get the actual door to go into the bathroom open. So places that are accessible, that you've got your ramp and you've got it all figured out, you've got your wonderful accessibility, please don't forget about trying to get that installed, if possible, a button, you know, that you can press. You know how you have the ones to press to open the door to get in places? Make that also a button to get in to the bathroom. So think about that. The other thing is, make sure that you do, when you go into the museum, look for this gingerbread scavenger hunt downstairs. It wasn't like someone, you know, when I got there said, oh, are you going to see the gingerbread exhibit? Here, take a sheet for the scavenger hunt. These are just little things that I notice that might be an area to maybe think about for the museum. I mean, it was wonderful. Everyone was very nice. A lot of things people don't know about that you guys work so hard to prepare, and then, you know, it doesn't get used. So maybe the staff just think about saying, hey, did you get one of the scavenger hunt sheets? The other thing that no one told me or invited me to do that I knew about is that you can vote on which gingerbread house is your favorite. Again, no one told me. I had to search it out and ask the guy. So it's over, like you go through the exhibit, you've got the beautiful aesthetic, you can take pictures, and then right past that, there's like a little kiosk where you can cast your vote, which I think is half the fun. And then you can see if the one that you picked to vote wins. So that's a fun activity too. They have wonderful iPads located in other parts of the museum that have closed captioning on their videos. They also have an audio speaker that you can pick up to listen. The first floor was really the one that I love the most. They have like a chronology of New York history, and they really do a great job of highlighting famous faces of New York that really made a difference, and you can learn about each one. They have a wonderful back wall that you can tap on it, and then it'll bring up the person and tell a little story about that person. So, and that I believe is permanent, always on the first floor. There's also a wonderful New York video in the very basement that is narrated by Stanley Tucci, who we love, that has closed captioning, that runs about 15 minutes, that I highly recommend. Again, the only thing with that, I was there when kids were in the movie and they were all like falling asleep and laid out on the mattresses, you know, laid out on the chairs. So I don't really, the New York video is really not that entertaining for kids. But again, the other parts, the gingerbread exhibit is definitely for kids, and you get to get in free. The kids get in free, and so why not go check it out? And what else? Oh, they have a wonderful membership program that I was very impressed with. So if you join as an individual, it's $80, and you get to have unlimited visits to the museum. and a 20% discount in the museum store. Now, let me tell you, I have been all over New York, and I love going to gift shops because I used to have a gift shop. I don't know if you know that about me, but yes, I used to have a gift shop, so I've always loved going into gift shops, and especially museum gift shops. And the Museum of City of New York is probably one of the top 5 gift shops I've ever been in. I absolutely loved it. It's a good size. It's not that big. They have such a special curated merchandise that are just unique, like books like How to Live Like a Local. They had a wonderful selection of little New York Christmas ornaments, which are all 40% off right now. They had wonderful jewelry, New York jewelry. They had different bookmarks. They had just cool clothes, like different New York shirts that you haven't seen around that are different from the norm. Really, really like that. And if you're a member, you can get 20% off in the gift shop. So that's really cool. So just loved it. You also, there's an Amy's Bread inside of there, which you need to know that it is more for, like coffee and a quick dessert. I wouldn't, this is just me personally, I wouldn't be like, oh, they have Amy's Bread, we'll have a lunch and then we'll look around the museum. It's not that kind of Amy's Bread. It's a lot smaller. So there's only about like 3 sandwiches offered, and it's more like it's just not that vibe to me. But have a little quick snack, and that area is very accessible. In fact, while I was there was a gentleman that had his automatic wheelchair that rolled right up, and the table height of the tables was just right for him to sit in his wheelchair and eat, which I think is important. Really good lighting, and you can look out over Central Park while you're eating. So just really love this place. Everyone was very nice. I really enjoyed it. And go check it out. The Museum of the City of New York. I think you'll be glad you did. Oh, and they have a great exhibit all about the food of New York that had like some different iPads on different tables that you could press and learn more, which is good. And oh my gosh, this is the best part. Quiet. It's so quiet in there. It's heavenly. And it's not that crowded. I was there on a Saturday. You had plenty of room to roam and stay as long as you want at each, spot. I can't stand it when you're like in a museum and you're trying to look at something and read something and people are coming up and standing in front of you and all of that stuff. You don't have that here. It's fabulous. I feel like it's kind of like an underground secret that not everybody knows about. So that's what I'm here for. Go check it out. It's accessible. It's wonderful. Tell them the Disability Ally sent you. Bye.